Good morning, good morning, good morning. If at first you don't succeed, try again, right? When you're doing for Christ, try again. If you in sin, you don't succeed, hey, look, count it a blessing. God has blessed you and helping you fail so you can turn away from it. But this is about me, my failure. I just tried. This is my second attempt this morning at making this video. I'm just so the collar. Hey, wait. All right. I don't want you to be distracted by this collar. Remember I told you I got in a car wreck where I was rear-ended by a commercial truck last Thursday, the day before last Thursday. I was on my way to work. God has blessed me. The job has give me so much provision. Trust me, ample provision. But oh man, they're crooked. They're shady. They're corrupt. As is the world we live in. It's corrupt. Federal government, but it's corruption. So anyway, I got sent to that location. I told you before as punishment for being a whistleblower. So on the way to that location they illegally sent me to, boom, I get rear-ended, man. And I can just tell you about what happened so fascinating last week. So today when we go out and do street side prayer, we're going to go to a whole new community. A lot of the communities under the seem like it's under the authority of principalities, man. The young lady says somebody was stabbed in there, man. Somebody else been killed, drugs, whole lot going on over there on that 103rd Street corridor. And I think I told you in another video how how we got sent over there. But trust me, it was God's work. I'm not gonna go through it right now, um, or you want to hear it. All right, a quick show. We just started our semester again, street side praying. So we just go out Isaiah 59:16, interceding for, different communities up and down this 103rd Street corridor here in Jacksonville, Florida. Whole lot of crime, whole lot of drug addiction, drug use, human trafficking, you name it, man, is going on up and down this whole corridor. And we just praying and interceding for this corridor, and go to different spots up and down the corridor, from the St. Johns River back to Brandon Field. And you got every type of housing up there. You got trailer parks, you got, what we call projects back in the day. You got some that's predominantly black, you got some that's predominantly white, you got some that's mixed, mixed. You got spots where Latinos hang out more, a lot. So, or live or dwell a lot. So, sin can affect every social strata, every environment. But I'm tend to work with the poor a lot. I don't know what that's about. So I we're going out street side praying. We came in, I think it's called Westgate, or was it Eastgate? I forget. I always get it mixed up. I've never in my life, I'm from DC, run across a gate apartment, Eastgate or Westgate, that was in nice shape. There was always rough parts. So this rough part, we were 2 Tuesdays ago. We went out, started our summer semester. This is summer semester we're in, our campaign, I call it, man, because we're in a battle. So we started the semester, and just happened that the minister of the Hands and Feet Ministry, he don't call himself a minister, James Andy, he's doing awesome work up there. God has blessed them. They bringing drug addicts off the street. They're getting housing for homeless, care for our veterans, feeding people every day for lunch. I go up there every once in a while and feed. Feeding is not really my calling. I just make myself serve in that capacity, but usually only, not enough, only for Thanksgiving, Christmas, those type of stuff. And have a wonderful time each and every time, just feeding. And Jesus told us, he said, feed them and they'll come. So James does awesome work up there, and he happened to be driving home and saw us at his ministry location on site praying. He stopped, he told us, he said, hey man, a block down the street, the Eastgate Apartments down. I said, huh? He said, yeah, right by the Chic. And I looked, you can see it from, he was there at the block. And the next Tuesday responded, God told me right there, he said, man, that's where you need to be. So we set up in the Chic, and we didn't ask for permission. We just set up in their parking lot. We're trying to hurry up and get the stuff set up. It's easier to tell while you're setting up. Then once, as soon as you get the sign up, say, we praying, people like, well, maybe I should give them some slack. But we made it through the night, but the slack ended. The police came and kicked us off at the end of the night, right? So, and it came, we were in full prayer. We were in our closing prayer, and he was like, yo, you got to go now. I was like, can we, finish this prayer? It was a couple who had showed up, and they were really hurting, and we did a lot of ministering. We were just closing. He's like, you got to go now. He was nice, but, he's firm. Couldn't even finish the closing prayer. It's crazy. So, all right. So, any rate, Another couple came soon as before we even got the tent set up. A couple came and they live in the Eastgate Apartments, and amazing. It was like, oh, we've been praying for this, and God's family has to get out and has to support and help and pray and intercede and come on, hit the streets. And I was like, yeah, that's my spirit. That's what I'm talking about. She told me she lived in Eastgate. I'm like, wow. And I was talking about the crime and the stabbing, and she had just started a prayer group in there the week before. And man, so obviously God sent us as just something out of the Bible. He said, look, go to the road right there. What I do when I get to the road, man? You just follow instructions. Go to the road. And once you go to the road, man, somebody be there for you. And that's what happened, man. And so it's beautiful. So we start that tonight. And I'm doing a little 1-day fast, man. And I've gotten out of the habit of fasting, coming off the holidays and all that. Fasting is so unfun. But I'm gonna work hard, man. Do a fast. My wife didn't cook a good breakfast this morning. So at any rate, so that's what's going on with my excitement. But that's not what I want to talk about this morning. So the collar, yeah. So the collar happened, like I say, on the work. So that was Tuesday when we found out the assignment. By Thursday, the enemy, man, put his forces in place, try to truck me off the road on the way to work, man. But my angels took the brunt of it, right? And they just got a little bit, and this what happened. So. 6 minutes of talking about trying to get your mind off of my collar, right? I've been so excited. A little revelation, ain't nothing big. I got these different Bibles and books and stuff like that, man. Scriptures, versions, interpretation, translations. See all those stacks, right? Those are different Bibles and interpretations and stuff, man. And I wanted to share, and when I was reading them, Psalm 23 is what started me on this Psalm journey right here that I'm on. We're up to Psalm number 101. I'm up to Psalm number 101, and I hope you're hanging in there, hanging with me, right? So, hope I ain't talking too much. So, up to Psalm 101, and that thing just took me over and delivered a message on me. It was the day before yesterday. Man, just laid me low, but over the last, I started with Psalm 23 because I was so blue and so depressed and so, afraid and so nervous and so battered and battle weary. And Psalm 23 was just giving me a lot of just rest and comfort, it was really helping me. And that's what led me into the Psalm walk. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to start when I got a little stronger after a week or two from just meditating on Psalm 23. It said, gave me revelations. Well, start from the very beginning and go all the way through. You know how the Bible is, man. For those of us who read it but don't read it. We read our favorite parts and then we don't read the rest. Or we may read it all and apply our favorite parts but don't apply the rest. But Psalm told me, hey, look, read it all the way through. So that's what I did. But while reading my different scriptures about Psalm 23, I started noticing some differences. I'm like, wow. Now, mind you, translating is, especially from Hebrew, is not a science, right? When God sent me through my journey in the Latino church, I would, not talking biblical talk, but regular, language and listen to them and try and translate with a little bit I knew from school back in the day. And, and I'm like, yo, man, you just said that, but you use a different word. So they got 2 and 3 words for each English word. And then, so Spanish is a little more complex than English, right? So Hebrew is extraordinarily complex, and that's supposed to be, the original language from back when, the Hebrews, the Psalms was written at least. So translation is not a science. I just want to tell you that. So at any rate, I've been reading the different translations and just fascinated. So this morning I'd like to just do a walk through Psalm 23, if that's all right with you. Different translations, and you tell me if you get anything, you get any healing, you get any blessings from it, you get any, and I encourage you to read it on your own and meditate on it. Don't just, hear it once and keep moving. No, God said meditate on his word. So I'll tell you which books I'm reading from before I start, and I'll start through it. And we have a different translations going to fascinate you. So that's 10 minutes to tell you what we're going to do. Now let's do it. So I'm going to start with the MacArthur Study Bible, right? And this is the English Standard Version. Oh, God gave me revelation, I guess maybe a year ago now, man, as I was walking through, I was blessed, honored enough to give a sermon. Thank you. The pastor had enough faith and confidence in me to give a sermon, and God wanted me to reveal. I guess he gave me the message. I prayed and fasted. I didn't make it up. So, how different Bibles have different translations, and some of us we say, "Man, that's good," because that King James, I can't understand the word he's saying. That's true, but we got to be very, very careful because there's critical, soul-saving stuff, redacted, eliminated, transmogrified from out of some of these translations. And I don't want to get into read this Bible, read that Bible. We Christians, we get into all these great debates and lose faith, lose sight of Christ. But man, that's why he says meditate on his word. When you read the word, no matter which version, and you meditate on it, he revealed to me, he said, something's missing. Something's missing. So, that's what's, man, the Bible actually spoke to me that day, and it said, man, no matter how many times you read this, you're not going to get what I got for you. And there was something missing. So now I checked different versions, and lo and behold, there was a soul-saving chunk. I can't remember what it was. I'll do, let's do a study on that, video study on that sooner than later. And I won't be making a new material. I'll just be sharing some materials that I learned and studied along the way from others. But Psalm 23, different translations, different languages. Hey, let's jump in. Hang with me. This is what did I say? I'm on my MacArthur Study Bible. And I love my MacArthur Study Bible, but it too is missing some chunks of stuff. The Lord is my shepherd. It's Psalm of David, Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely, goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. That's beautiful, isn't it? Come on, man. That's good stuff. Let me give you. Now, this is my favorite psalm. This is where I've been reading my psalm walk from. It's just all the psalms in one book, and they call it the New Version. And I love it because they actually give you a study guide to show you what each psalm is, the general theme is, the general, the idea of that particular psalm is. So you go through the psalms and you read them all. I think it says 150 of them we up to 101. And sometimes like I say, Psalm 23 hit me because I was in a deep spot. But if you use this little book, it gives you right at the front, it gives you a little table. If you feeling blue, read this. If you joyous, read that psalm. If you blah blah blah, read this psalm, and that helps. I haven't used it in that capacity yet, but I will. Trust me, I will. So Psalm 23 from this particular book, and this is the book that I'm doing the walk on. A Psalm of David. Jehovah is my shepherd. I have all that I need. Excuse me. He gives me green pastures to graze in. He leads me to cool pools of clear water. He gives renewed strength to my life. He guides me along the right paths for the sake of his name. Yes. And when I walk through the valley of deep darkness, I won't be afraid because you are there with me. Your rod and your staff are a comfort to me. You prepare a feast for me in the face of my enemies. You pour oil on my head. You fill my cup to overflowing. Yes, goodness and mercy will be mine all my lifetime, and I will live in the house of Jehovah forever. That is absolutely beautiful. Man, did you get something out of that? Now that I got way more fulfillment out of than the first version, right? Did you notice the difference? One, he says Jehovah. Okay, let's start digging in. Let's get a little deep with it. Well, let me skip. Let me get this one for you first. No, I'm gonna stay here. Okay, so this right here, can you see it? This is it's one I used when I was in a Latino church. God sent me through a Latino church for 2 years. It was a beautiful experience. Trust me, it was a beautiful, beautiful experience. The church collapsed in a terrible manner. And, you know, church hurt can really happen, right? That's part of it. It's said in scripture, man. But church hurt is really what keep a lot of people at bay. The two things keep a lot of people out of church, man. People that come in church, they find us, you know, busted up people doing busted up things while in the church, and we're like, huh? It's supposed to be better in here, and I ain't coming, never come back, right? Another thing that happened is just church itself, the process, the politics, man, the behaviors, the mechanisms, all that, right? And all that stuff, man, religiosity of it, all that stuff, man. Look, church is beautiful and we need church. I attend church on the regular. I missed this last Sunday because I didn't want to be there with a collar on and have all this attention going on by the collar and blah, blah, blah. But and then to not wear the collar, my neck be aching like a mug. I'd be in pain. So I'm like, yo, I'm going to skip it. But at any rate, I love church. I've been, you know, we go through a whole discourse about churches, but church is crucial. Church is biblical. It says we're supposed to be in church. We're supposed to be in fellowship with each other. And when you do it, you find you can feel a difference. So, but what's the problem with church, right? We run it. People run it. And people, you know, as we grow closer to Christ, we got different levels of stain and sin muck on us. And you know, we bring this stuff with us, man. Think about it. Jesus was battling with the church. Those were people he was beefing with, the Pharisees. That was the church at the time. And so church can do a lot of damage, but churches can do a lot of great and good things, right? Help us in our walk. So that was Latino church. I loved it. This Bible, it says Reina Valeria Revisada, New King James Version, right? So it's both Spanish, Biblia Bilingua, and Bilingual Bible, New King James Version. So this is two versions, and I'm gonna give my Spanish a shot too in a minute. First, let's read the English. All right, is that cool? So Psalm 23, the shepherd of his people, a psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of the righteous. For his name's sake, yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. Sound familiar? Sound like the first version, right? And that's the version that we commonly hear. But did you hear the difference in that second version I read? It was to me, it's so beautiful. I don't know. So let's try this. Jehovah es mi pastor, Salmo de David, right? So in Spanish, they call Psalm Salmo. 23, Salmo 23. Jehová es mi pastor, nada me faltará. En lugares de delicados pastos me hará descansar. Junto a aguas de reposo me pastorará. Confortará mi alma. Me guiará por sendas de justicia por amor de su nombre. Aunque pase por valle de sombra de muerte. No temer mal alguno, porque tú estarás conmigo. Tu vara y tu cañada me infundirán aliento. Aderezarás mesa delante de mí en presencia de mis adversarios. Ungiste mi cabeza con aceite. Mi copa está rebosando. Citar ciertamente la bondad y la misericordia me seguirán todos los días de mi vida. Y en la casa de Jehová moraré por largos días. You know, I got a lot of joy out of the Spanish version. Really enjoyed it. I'm getting so Psalm 23. I'm getting so familiar with it that I can translate some of those Spanish words as we went through, and just beautiful. I loved my journey into Latino church. All right, so this right here is the Complete Jewish Bible, translation by David Stern. All right. It says a fresh version of the Bible by David Stern. Now, I read some of this, and it too, supposed to be, one of the better translations from Hebrew to English. And remember, in Hebrew, they don't call them Psalms, nor Psalmos. They call them Tehillim. Tehillim? Tehillim. I always mispronounce it. Tehillim, I've been pronounced, but it's not. Tehillim. Tehillim is the Psalms in Hebrew. Psalmos in Spanish, right? So, Tehillim 23, a Psalm of David. Adonai is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He has me lie down in grassy pastures. He leads me by quiet waters. He restores my inner person. He guides me in right paths for the sake of his own name. Even if I pass through death's dark ravines, I will fear no disaster, for you are with me. Your rod and staff reassure me. You prepare a table for me, even as my enemies watch. You anoint my head with oil from an overflowing cup. Goodness and grace will pursue me every day of my life, and I will live in the house of Adonai for years and years to come. Amen. I felt something good out of that, man. Just reading the psalm, I could feel just so relaxing, so reassuring. So that's that version. Here's one of my favorite books here. It's the Shabbat Shador, right? So remember the Shabbat is actually a feast and a holiday. Remember the Old Testament say, Messianic Shabbat Shador, right? Messianic Shabbat Shador. So the Old Testament says, keep my feast in Shabbat. Now we know that Jesus came and made that final offering for us. But a lot of people, we're not sure. Should I still be doing, the feast or not? So, at any rate, we'll read this. Oh, and what's great about this book? Check this out. See if can you see that? It gives you the Hebrew, then it gives you the English, and a transliteration, they call it. So that's the Hebrew, right? But look here, right here. Can you see that? That right there helps you pronounce this right here. So this right here is like an English phonetic understanding or interpretation of the Hebrew right here. So it's cool. You got the Hebrew, you got the English, and then you got the translation so you can pronounce the Hebrew with this. Am I making sense? I love this book, man. And that's really why I got the book. Not so much that I do Shabbat, participated one time at a Messianic, and this is Messianic, by the way, Jewish, at a Messianic church here in Jacksonville. And I was lost. I didn't know what was going on. But, I enjoyed the experience. And so anyway, let's read Mizmor La David, Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and grace will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. Kind of sounds just like the one we just read, right? Let's try this. Psalm 23, Mizmor La David, Adonai Ro'i Lo Ekshar. Binote Deshe Yar Be Zeni. Ame Minu Kot. Yanaha Le'ni. Nafshi Isho Vev. Yan Kani. Bimag Le Zedek. Lama'an Shmo. Gam Ki Elek. Bige Zal Mavet. Lo I Rara. Ki Ata I Ma'adi. Shiv Teka. Ume Shan Teka. Hama Yana Ka Moni. Ta'arach. Lafane Shu Khan Neged Zorera Zorera Deshanta Bishamin Roshi Kosi Ravaya Aktov Vake said Yeird Funi Ko Yemei Ka Ye Vashavti Bevek Adonai La O Rek Yamin. Amen. All right. I'm not sure I got a lot out of that, right? All right, let's move to the last one. Again, it's another Hebrew book. Hebrew Telehim. This is all Psalms translated from Hebrew. And you look at the pages, right? You got the Hebrew right there. You got the Hebrew. The transliteration is not quite the same as that one. Well, it's not at all. It doesn't have that transliteration so I can pronounce it. But let's just read the interpretation. And I struggle with this version. Psalm 23, Telehim 23. Tehillim 23. A psalm by David. And remember, in these Hebrew books, they read from left to right. That's why when you read this, it wasn't a camera trick. Actually, the camera might have lined it up to make it look right now for us. But they read from left to right instead of right to left. And this book has these arrows to show you, all right, this was next, because we would be reading in the wrong direction, translated in reverse. So Psalm by David. Hashim is my shepherd, I shall not lack. He lays me down beside tranquil waters. He leads me, my soul he restores. He leads me on paths of righteousness for the sake of his name. Even though I walk in the valley overshadowed by death, I will not fear evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare me before a table in view of, this translation is kind of strange, in view of my tormentors. You anointed with oil my head. My cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life. And I shall dwell in the house of Hashim for the length of days. So fascinating. Let me show you the page. Hopefully you can see it. Can you see that? See the little arrows? Show you which way to go? Yeah, it's fascinating. So they actually try to literally translate each and every word, which you actually can't do. Um, and and that's it. So I could read to you some of the themes and objectives of this, but of course it's like, God is our great shepherd, and he starts off and we're like sheep. He leads us, he comforts us, and if we just let him lead, and that's where we get to this lordship, let him lead, he'll lead us to the right way and the right things, and he'll comfort us and protect us along the way. And I'm really depending on that tonight. I believe that I'm being led to pray and intercede for this Eastgate or Westgate. Now I think it's Eastgate. Eastgate? One of the gate. Help me pray for both, right? I'll tell you for sure which one it is. Pray for both on 103rd. Help me pray for 103rd Street, the whole community, man. So, because it's just gripped by sin and principalities of evil. So I believe he led and sent me there to pray and intercede for that particular community. He sent some people's homes we can go pray in. Soon we'll set the tent in their yard. And as, his power and authority moves and just works all through the place, we'll be able to move out and spread out. And we'll throw community events, kids events. We'll throw a barbecue. Jesus said, feed them, they'll come. We'll throw a barbecue in the spring. We'll have a family fun day, a community day. Have some, music, food, praise music, Christ music, right? Food, games. And we want to bring Christ to that community. And that's the plan. So, when it says when we walk through the valley of evil, or valley overshadowed by death, it's a lot of, some killing and some stuff going on up in there. But, after doing this for 4 years, I still get scared sometimes. I do, I'm admit. But the fear is really, really diminished and decreased. And I just love my wife. She's so faithful. She be like, you're not going out there by yourself. Like she gonna protect me, right? But she depend on me to protect her. But however it works, that's my girl. She's like, we gonna be in this together, and I love her faithfulness. So pray for me. See y'all. See you tonight. Bless you. Bye bye.